Hello, everybody. Today I'll be reading this last episode of Creepypasta of Pacman. You remember Pacman? Yeah, the little boy who has been the mascot for Namco, merged from Mount Bandai for 41 years now. The film will always have a place in my heart. In the days I played Pac-Man World 2 on my GameCube, I didn't want the reboot they gave him and all, though. And they made him as an annoying high school kid trying too hard to be cool. But that isn't the point. Before I start, it's always I'm a Pac-Man fan. I originally played the original arcade game on World 2's arcade bonus area, which allowed you to play the classic games from the 80s. One day I was chatting with my friends on Skype, who allegedly told me that he found a supposed version of Pac-Man, a ROM that was found and locked away in a safe in the back of an old arcade at some abandoned amusement park, and extracted from his PCB board. Honestly, I didn't believe him, but he gave me a link and I kept note for a few days later since I was busy with school at the time. Eventually, when I got home on late Friday, I hopped on my computer and I was originally going to play more L4D2 or Quake Live. However, I was reminded of the link my friend gave me thanks to a trusty notepad file I saved to my desktop. I opened the link up and was taken to a browser page. The page itself had the story and stated the players who were able to finish this original arcade game board suffered from severe psychology and its occasionally psychological trauma, up to including death of the subject, and that ROM's effect is significantly reduced. I put my hand I put my hand over my face and corpsed, thinking that this was all going to be another Lavender Town Syndrome hoax. But I just scraped and clicked the link, leading to where I could play the game in the browser so I didn't have to rest downloading it and getting in creepy viruses. I guess. The game loaded with a corrupted ROM startup unaccompanied with a launch status before displaying the words insert coin. I noticed it briefly flashed from the coin to soul for about a split second now and then. I hit enter and started the game. The familiar maze board that many gamers probably remember to display with Pacman in the middle where the fruit usually appeared. Here. The little jingle that was stuck in my head as a child played, but it was really off. It started out nowhere before slowing down, then speeding up and going loud toward the end, as well as going at a lower key. Once the jingle finished, I could move Pac-Man, presented by his icon pizza save. One thing I noticed was I couldn't see any panels unless Pac-Man came into view in the certain channels. I also occasionally saw Blue Ghost roaming the maze. He had a sad face in the side of that of jack-o'-lantern. Almost reminded me of something out of the Ghost and Goblins, honestly. Watching Pat Dawes play his usual waka sound effect, but it was deeper than usual. The ghost siren in the background also slowed down. There were a few power pedals, as any Pac-Man game would have, of course. I ate one and I was briefly able to see a full view of Pat Dawes and the location of the ghosts. This did not allow me to eat them, however. When I touched the ghost, I simply died. Die resulted in one of three things. The screen was zooming on Pac-Man, had the spin while his good song would play, that then incarnated static. The screen would freeze before restarting, or the sprite that would flash upon the screen along with loud screech. Needless to say, it ticked me off, and eventually cleared the first floor and the next level started. This time there was a red ghost who had a sinister smile. If you saw Pac-Man, he would charge down the channel you were on the maze with an obnoxious buzzing sound. I should also add the fact that the level counter will occasionally flash to names which I presume the new ghosts were at each time. The first one's name was Blindly, which I can only assume that because he moved around randomly like Clyde. This time it was Screamy. Judging from his AI's behavior, I think the name would be well fit. If you got out of the line of sight while he was starting, it would make things a bit easier. Only last thing to mention is occasionally his sprite flickered between his rather sinister bony grin to his original 8-bit started blinking. The Red Ghost and Namco's, or if you are American, Midway original cabinets. The next level will introduce a much more annoying ghost named Slendy. As his name implies, he acted like someone Slenderman in a way. He would teleport around the maze at random, and pop up right in front of your face. As music and sound stopped if he was in your view. If you stay in his line of sight, he would start to get an angry look on his face, and then eventually turn yellow. At this point, if he does turn yellow, he will more than likely teleport on top of you. The next level introduced all one, who happens to be pink. This was probably the worst of all, as he would fall apart man and phase through the walls of the board. His appearance was probably the most interesting compared to the other ghosts. He had strange tentacles like an octopus or a squid, and he had some strange spots on top of his head, almost like some sort of gemstone. Also, unlike the other three, he was the only one like him out completely. The fifth level was when things started to get weirder, though. The walls in the maze started disappearing. No, I'm not even kidding. They were vanishing and I could go through the board freely. It became more annoying this way considering I couldn't stay straight and the ghost got an advantage. After clearing this board, I noticed the next level was exactly the same. I could only presume the rest of the game was like this now, so I ended my game here. Dire results on the screen asking, play again, along with a countdown. Accepting and just resets the game while letting the time run out and simply printed out. Game over in a white text. If the latter of the three results I mentioned earlier regarding Pacman's death occurred, you get a jump scare screaming with a screech when the timer reaches at a certain point. Afterward, there will be a red screen with insert coin, occasionally flickering to please stop eventually. I closed this game and went to bed. Honestly, I never knew a puzzle could be given a dark twist, at least not like this. I really hope this was not a real game, for if it was, then I feel real guilty for those who have played this. I originally came back to this game after I saw the community's leader, Mufavar, has played this game, had recently been updated just recently. The follow text was as followed. Additional repairs were completed on arcade PCB Newsom N for 1 through R for 6. Technic categories and hardware found to catatonic state during testing, declared brain dead, new wrong compliant, noticeable changes, unknown, and report. Most of the updates did not list these support technicians who did not add the PCB board. Either died some cause. This, however, caught me as I didn't list as many details as the others, so out of curiosity, I decided to play the ROM. Playing for the levels 1 to 5 weren't too much different. It sounds to be altered slightly though, mainly Pacman's death, where it sometimes play halfway before turning to the white noise. Here it only play half the soundbite over and over like a broken record. The screech on a jump scare was also changed to a high-pitched white noise. When I got to level 6 though, it's when things started to get interesting. Upon entering this level, the walls in the maze were back. I began munching my way through the channels of padlocks. It was quiet though. The ghost siren wasn't playing in the background. I was rather suspicious and continued onward. There weren't even ghosts in the little ghost box. After munching a certain number of dogs, led to something unexpected. I I heard this loud higher pitched waka waka in a power pole. I found out exactly this thing was. It was another Pacman, but it was dark gray. It wasn't exactly freaked out though until I after eating another set amount of dots. All the text boxes with score, lies, and whatnot changed to run, but sound like the eyeball sound what you hear after you eat a ghost in the arcade version as it runs by the box in the middle, and a deer pit started playing. The Tar Pac-Man started moving faster, eventually caught up with me, and the screen started glitching. So instead of sprites and letters, pretty much it's the original level of 256 taken into a whole new level of weirdness. After this, the screen cleared up and I was taken to a first person view. What the heck? The graphics were pretty much like Wolfenstein 3D and Doom. Crowd talks away around, I could tell exactly what was happening. Eventually, I came across Pac-Man. What exactly is going on here? He was a 2D sprite with a he was a 2D sprite with about 4 different directions. Much like the same games I thought, he seemed to be wandering around the maze. I was confused and parted to myself a bit. Then it hit me. I was a ghost. I decided my natural instinct was to catch the poor per usual. It seemed like he was running away from me, but even though that was the case, it was freaky seeing the darn thing coming forward with open jaws. Even if it's simple pizza appearance, upon touching him 3 times, the game window flashed to black and simply stayed that way. Upon closing, I can't help but wonder, what could this mean? Could this mean the ghosts were past Patmans, or even worse? plus players. You can find a few versions of this game on the internet if you wish to play it. Probably the most popular place for size on Game Jolt. However, I warn you, you may not want to play it. I still love Pacman to this day, and the original arcade game especially, but I never thought there were a darker tale to this maze. And that, my friends, is the Creepypasta story, Pacman. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!